Alright, we're going to find the domain of these two functions. So whenever you're trying to find the domain, you always ask yourself, what am I not allowed to plug in for x? When I have x in the denominator, I'm not allowed to plug 0 in. So I simply want to solve this equation. When does that equal 0? I can solve that easiest by factoring, which means x, I should say x can't equal 0, and x can't equal -1. If they want you to write it in interval notation, you write from -infinity to 0, union 0 to 1, union 1 to infinity, which means it's including everything but 0, because this means the open parentheses means it's not including that number, and 1. So that's your answer. In the case of getting a radical, this inside the radical has to be greater than or equal to 0 in order for it to be defined. So in other words, that can't be less than 0. So you just set that equal, or why don't you let's just write it in terms of what this domain is allowed to be. So we write. So again, I'm not solving this equation. I'm just saying to myself, what's inside the radical has to be positive, or non-negative, I should say. And so you're to solve this equation. This is an inequality rather. To solve an inequality, I do that. And for this problem, there's a couple ways to solve this one. The easiest way in my mind to solve something like this is to think about what 16 minus x squared looks like as a function. And that's going to be -x squared plus 16. So it's an upside down parabola, that's the -x squared part, moved up 16 units. So that point right there is 16, comma 0. And these points here, where it crosses the x-axis, are -4 and +4. You can see that if you solve that. That factors into 4 minus x, 4 plus x. So -4 and +4 are your two zeros. So where is this greater than? Where is that 16 minus x squared, which is this graph right here? Where is that parabola? The inside of that g of x. In other words, I'm not graphing. This isn't the graph of the square root of that. It's the graph of 16 minus x squared. And I'm asking, when is that positive or not negative? And it's between -4, let me change colors here, it's between -4 and +4 that's a positive value. So your solution is going to be from, or your interval, again writing in interval notation, is going to be closed parentheses, because 4 is included, -4 to +4. And just check it, see if it's right. Plug in numbers. Will -4 work in here? Are you allowed to plug -4 in? Yes. Are you allowed to plug -3 in? Yes. -2? Yes. -1? Yes. 1, 2, 3? Sure. And also all the decimals in between. How about 5? Am I allowed to plug 5 in here? No, because, or even 4.1? No, because 4.1 squared is bigger than 16, so 16 minus 16 point something is negative point something, which I'm not allowed to do in the real numbers. So that's how you find the domain and check it, and two very good examples.